Hi there, Flat Cap Chef here, and I'm going to show you now how to make orange and cranberry biscotti. Biscotti is a delicious kind of hard biscuit that you have. Dunk it in your coffee. It's very Italian and it's just a delicious snack. So what have we got? It's really easy to make actually. So I've got a bowl with a sieve. I've got, I've got about 2/3 of a mug of self-raising flour. That's about 110 grams. I've got about 1/3 of a mug of caster sugar, golden casters. It's about 75 grams. I've got the same third of ground almonds, or almonds. It's about 60 grams as well. I've got about 100 grams of dried cranberries, which are lovely. I've got beaten up 1 egg with an extra yolk. And I've got some vanilla powder and a little pinch of salt. I've got here, and then I've got the zest of 1 orange that I'm going to pop in there as well. So we'll just finish zesting this orange. So it's on top of the sieve, as you see, really easy to do. Smells fantastic, and that's just going to add a lovely zesty, zingy flavour. Meantime, I've got my oven heating up, and that's currently heating up to about 170 degrees, 160, fan 180. If you don't have a fan oven, that's around gas mark 4. So, what we're going to do is going to sieve our flour in. This is such a quick and easy thing to do, and you will love the result. There we are. I'll just squeeze through the last bits, lumps. There we go. That's that done. Right, so I've got that in there, and now I'm going to add in my ground almonds. I'm actually going to get some cocoa powder as well. 1 second. Here we go. I'm just going to put in a couple of teaspoons of cocoa powder, just give it a bit of a darker colour. There we go, 2 teaspoons of that. So that's now in. Let's mix that around a little bit. I'm going to add my little pinch of salt. I'm going to add in my cranberries and my orange zest. And mix those together. Use a spoon, otherwise you get flour all over my hands. There we go, it's well mixed together. So if I go well in the middle, I'm going to add my vanilla. I'm actually using vanilla powder. You can use it's about around about a teaspoon of vanilla extract to give it some flavour. And then I'm going to add in my egg mixture. Use your fingers to take that out because you're going to put your fingers in there. And we're going to mix this together. Okay. I'm going to bring this together and then we'll be back. Okay, so I've now got most of it together. This is quite sticky, so I've got the tips for you. If you just get your hands a little bit damp, that will help. Not too wet, you don't want to make it overly wet again. Have a little broad-bladed knife around, so if it sticks to your fingers, you can just scrape it off with the back of the knife and then pop it in here. And of course, the third tip is just some extra flour. Not too much, because you don't want to dry it out too much, but it just helps a little bit. And then when we take it off, we'll just flour the surface and we give it a little roll out. So this is now a good old knead with my hands, get rid of my bowl, a little bit of light dusting flour on my surface. I'm going to create like a log, if you like, but it's quite a flat, squat log, because actually biscotti, if you know them, they're about this sort of, they look like this, so about 2.5 centimetres in height, maybe about 3 or 4 centimetres, 5 centimetres long. So everything's properly incorporated, so I'm going to drop this on here. I'm just going to little bit of extra flour on the top, just a light dusting. There we go. And I'm going to drop this onto, once I've got it into my lovely shape, I'm going to drop it onto a piece of baking paper on a tray. It's going to go into my preheated oven. So you're creating this kind of look. Now, is that thick enough? I think that's a little too thick. Pat it down. There we go. So there we have it, okay. So it's going to look like, I'm going to pop that onto my greaseproof paper in the middle, fold the sides under. I'm going to pop it in the oven for 30 minutes and then we'll be back. Okay, small disaster, didn't put my sugar in. Does it better? Just popped it back out of the oven, pour my sugar in, and we'll mix it in together so that we get it worked in. Won't take much to do. There we go. So I'll complete this now, then I'll pop it back in the oven and then we'll be back. Okay, so it's now come out of the oven. If I didn't want to add that sugar, I didn't have gone back and do it. You could have had it and it was less sweet, obviously. But I did, and it's all fine. So now, about 10 minutes in, just so you know, I actually took my baking paper and folded it over, just trapped it underneath, just to stop it spreading from too much. So it's kept its size and its shape. Now I've got a little spatula here. The idea is just ease underneath the edges. Okay, to free it up, same from this side. And then you should be able to move it across. There we go. Now, I've turned my oven down to about 130. It's like 3. And I've got a sharp knife. And I'm going to cut individual biscotti biscuits. So I like to get the blade in, point in first, and follow up. Now, this is the kind of size you want, so it's no more than, what, centimetre and a half across. And then we just lay it on its side. I'm going to do that for all of these. And then we're going to put it back in the oven for another half an hour. I check it after about 25 minutes. See how they're doing, and the idea is that we dry them out, so you want them to be hard. That's the whole point of a biscotti, and then when you dip it into your coffee, it's just amazing. So keep doing these. We'll spread them out, nice even distribution of fruit in there as well. If a few bits break off, don't worry, you can always eat them now. Here we go. I find the middle tends to be a little easier to cut than the outside edges. It's just that tiny bit softer on the cooling process. It is important that you cool it for 10 minutes before you start to do this, otherwise it will just kind of squidge out, which we don't want. So this one amount of mixture is going to make, I wonder how many, count them up in a second. There we go, a couple more to do. One more at the end. That's it. Turn them on this side. I like to. We can even standing up. Let's do a selection of some standing up, some on this side. So we've got now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So you've got about 16 to 18 individual biscuits out of that one serving. In fact, I'm going to stand them up. It just makes it easier for all the sides to dry. There we go, pop back in the oven and then we'll be back. Okay, so they've now come out, they've been in the oven. Actually these took about 45 minutes to dry out. It's really down to your oven, so the different times for different ovens. You want them to be hard, okay, and that's the way they need to be. Now if you leave them to cool, they will dry out even more, and then you'll have perfect biscotti. So that's it. If you want to subscribe, then do. It's free. It just means you get notification when I post my next video 2-3 times a week. or there's the website www.theflatcapchef.com, where we're trying to add content as much as we can. Back soon.